In today's episode, Carl asks, LinkedIn seems like it's full of spam and junk. Are you getting any value out of it? I listened to a terrific episode of one of my favorite podcasts that's not in marketing, This Week in Machine Learning and AI with Sam Charrington. And he interviewed Dr. Romero Rosales, who is the lead data scientist and AI expert at LinkedIn. And Dr. Rosales talked about how LinkedIn's algorithm works. It's fairly straightforward from a machine learning perspective, from a deep learning perspective, and that is that they have a few different outcomes, like 3 or 4 different outcomes, and then their algorithm optimizes around each of those outcomes while trying to balance them all. It's what's called trade-off analytics. So on one hand, they want user engagement, but on the other hand, they want satisfaction reports, user satisfaction reports to be mostly positive. They want people interacting with core parts of the platform, like updating their profile, but they also want companies posting jobs. They want advertisers to run ads, but they also, again, want those quality scores for user satisfaction to remain high. So what they're doing behind the scenes is optimizing for all these different outcomes. Facebook, by the way, works on the very same principle. If you look at the way Facebook displays data and what's going on behind the scenes, it is a deep learning algorithm. And it's trying to optimize for things like user engagement, for those target variables like deep engagement, where someone leaves a comment rather than just presses the like button, because your cat can hit the like button, right? Where you share with annotation. All of these social networks are using very similar algorithms. They may make trade-offs differently. Dr. Rosales wasn't able, obviously, to comment on what other networks besides LinkedIn were doing, but on LinkedIn specifically, the trade-offs are balancing that satisfaction with the display. And one other thing that I thought was interesting is the meta value for LinkedIn is delivering as much value to the user holistically as possible. So if you're not getting value out of LinkedIn, the reason why is that your profile, and by this I mean you, the user on LinkedIn, have not sufficiently trained the machine. You have not sufficiently trained the algorithm to display what you do and do not want out of LinkedIn. I tried this experiment. I listened to this episode over the previous weekend. It's now Thursday of the following week, and I've been following a very simple practice for 3 minutes a day. Once in the morning, once around lunchtime, once in the evening, for a minute each. I scroll through my feed and I mark hide this. If for any post that frankly I don't get value out of. On LinkedIn there's like people posting these little motivational quotes. Don't get much value out of that. Hide this. Someone saying my company's showing off this thing. Cool. Okay. Hide this. On Facebook, so-and-so politician does something silly. Okay. Seeing that. Read the news elsewhere. Hide this. The change has been remarkable. In just 3 minutes a day per network, so 9 minutes total a day, because Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn for me personally, the value I get out of LinkedIn is substantially better. I no longer see a lot of that content, like this person or this silly thing. I'm training the algorithm. I'm doing active training of the algorithm. Say, I don't want to see this stuff anymore. This stuff is not delivering value to me. It is bad for my user experience. I do the same thing for ads too. I'll say, like, this ad, it wasn't relevant to me, and in just 4 days, I get a better experience out of LinkedIn. I get a better experience out of Facebook. The thing that's important is that because these algorithms are powered by deep learning, which is constantly readjusting, constantly passing data back and forth through the layers of machine learning that power the algorithm, it's not like you do a bunch of stuff and then you have to wait a week, a month, a quarter, a year for a software engineer to update the product. These algorithms are operating in real time, or very near real time. So the changes that you make and the training that you do with them takes effect almost immediately. So it's important for all of us as individual users to understand these algorithms, at least conceptually. You don't have to understand the math behind them, and to train them. to provide them data, to provide them feedback in near real time. Yes, this is good. No, this is not good. Google's search algorithm, by the way, does the exact same thing. These algorithms are not broadly trained like, hey, this is the one algorithm that rules all, and this is the one right type of data to show on LinkedIn. They are custom to your profile. They're custom to you, what you want. You may be the sort of person who loves getting motivational quotes against pretty pictures on LinkedIn. And if that's your jam, awesome. Make sure you like those posts, hit the like button on them. And you may find long-winded, essentially like mini blogs on LinkedIn to be the pits. Hide those. So, and your algorithm or your profile in the algorithm will show you what you want, and it will not damage the experience of other people around you. So you don't have to worry about training it and then nobody gets value out of LinkedIn. It's specific to you and your experience. Google search operates the same way. YouTube operates the same way. All of these networks, if a network's got more than I'd say more than 500 million users, it's using deep learning. Or if it's not, that network's going to have some massive scalability problems, and it's probably a place nobody wants to be. So if it's got more than 500 million users, it is using deep learning. If it's using deep learning, it can be trained by you, for your use. So invest a few minutes every day. Do it for 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks, and you will start to see a difference almost immediately. But keep training it, keep training it until it is the way you want it to be. And you will find that it's a much more pleasant experience. Now, here's the catch. When you train the algorithm, you are also limiting your worldview. You're also limiting it to the things that you like, which means that if there's something new that you don't necessarily like or dislike, you may not see it in time. So don't be too restrictive. Obviously stuff that's just flat out not useful. Like for me, motivational quotes on pretty pictures, just not valuable to me. So those are things I clearly hide. Some other stuff I'm like, company news, you know what, this one's not too bad, I'm going to leave it as is, because I still might want to see stuff like that, particularly from relevant companies. Be aware of that, especially on Facebook, in your personal use. If you only see and hear the things that you like, you're going to miss some stuff. Now, that might not be a bad thing, depending on how angry certain news makes you, but know that you are intentionally constructing a filter bubble, and you do need to get data somewhere else in order to retrain and expand the filter bubble in appropriate ways that suit your needs. Great question, Carl. Interesting question, because again, machine learning and deep learning are what's behind all of these social algorithms. Knowing how they work means that you can take advantage of them. As always, if you have comments, please leave them in the comments field below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and to the newsletter, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. If you want help with your company's data and analytics, visit BrainTrustInsights.com today and let us know how we can help you.